I'm right here along the R524 road, which is known as, Punda Maria Road. And indeed, this is where President Cyril Ramaphosa is going to lay a wreath. Behind me, this is a monument where we are expecting President Cyril Ramaphosa to lay that wreath in commemoration of, those soldiers who actually lost their lives, during this very same day, the 21st of February in 1917, during that sinking of SS Mendi. But I also want to bring in one of the, veterans, or one of the former soldiers, Ndate William Siweda. Thank you so much for joining us here on SABC. Ndate, how are you feeling that today, this day is commemorated right here in Thohoyandou, your home?
Ndikopa ndo takalangamanda namusi rich kokono uhumbulabo masole bebarilwela ngachipinga chakale na uri bawokolwela elishangu la South Africa uri namusi ribe rikonebo ujenabo South Africa liso.
Let's talk about your experience in the army. Just take us through your role that you played, as we understand that you are a former soldier.
Hange ingango mubusoleni hobo uchishimiwa mishimo yote na one yoba ifos ichopi force ngaore roba richishima mishimo yote inekweti obusoleni sote zine zvabaone ungava ubika ungava urugisa dzigoroi ungava first aid rasina hune rakete ngauri yoba iforce mara yana musi yonoshanduka ichaba force ribobona una zvine zvakuitea zvisi zvavudi zvavundengwa ngauri hange usoleni rivaroya ushumela urushaka risongoya uvana mita risongoya uhanedza zvine zvakuitiwa heningei.
Well, Siweda, thank you so much for talking to us here on SABC News. He's a former soldier, a veteran, saying that he's very excited that today, this day, is being commemorated right here in Thohoyandou, and that he's very excited that they are also commemorating, soldiers who actually, fought very hard for the freedom that we are actually, enjoying today. But the other thing that he's also mentioned is that during that era, because they were called South African National, Defense Force. He's saying that they were doing everything during that particular period. They were cooking. They were also, playing the role in terms of, health. They were also doing all the other things. That's what he's basically saying. But I also want to bring in here Colonel Victor Kasabani. Thank you so much for joining us. You are from the South African National Defense Force. Let's talk about the significance of, commemorating this day, particularly here in Thohoyandou.
Thank you very much for having us. This is indeed a very important day for a number of reasons. Why? One, we know the reasons why we are commemorating the sinking of the SS Mendi. But in particular here, you have got this memorial behind me that has been erected in partnership between the National Defense Force as well as the local municipality here, because the military memorial site is actually in 15 Sai, which is quite a distance from here. It was only befitting that indeed we will actually be able to bring the memorial site here so that the Commander-in-Chief can lay that wreath here in partnership with the community, because as you will understand, armed forces is about bringing the defense force to the people. And that's why this is a very important thing on this main road where we have actually erected this. If you look at the picture behind me of the memorial, you will see that it symbolizes the actual relief of this area, which also symbolizes the innovation and the resilience of the people historically in terms of how they survived, how they won their own battles that were fought here.
We understand that President Cyril Ramaphosa, as you've already mentioned as well, he'll be laying the wreath right there at this, memorial. But just take us through the process. What can we expect to see when President comes, here?
Okay, this is a very solemn moment. It is not something that is prolonged. So the president will arrive as soon as he get off his vehicle. The wreath will already be ready for him. So it is one continuous movement from his vehicle. He will receive the wreath. He will continue to lay the wreath. He will observe a silent moment, solemn moment, and then he will once again depart back to his vehicle and continue to the next activity. So this is really a moment of respect, a moment of solemnity, and there will not be any other issues around it or hype around it.
Well, Colonel Kasampan, thank you so much for joining us here on SABC News from the South African National Defence Force, stating clearly that President Cyril Ramaphosa, as part of commemorating this, Armed Forces Day, he'll come here, lay the wreath. As we speak now, the red carpet is ready actually to allow the president to come here and also lay that wreath in commemoration of, the soldiers who actually lost their lives during the sinking of SS Mendi in 1917, right on this day of the 21st of February.